Picture this. It's 2026. You grab your keys and boom. Your favorite SUV is suddenly illegal. Wild, right? And we're not talking old beaters. We mean top-selling family rides, off-road beasts, and fan favorites. New rules are shaking up the car world, and a lot of SUVs might get the boot. Emissions are way stricter. Safety tech is a must. Heavy SUVs get slammed with penalties. Loud engines are getting silenced, and EVs are taking over. Basically, if your ride isn't up to the new rules, it's in trouble. And it's not just about rules. Your wallet's gonna feel it too. Older SUVs that don't make the cut could drop in resale value, face crazy taxes, or even get banned from certain cities. Basically, 2026 is coming, and if your SUV isn't ready, it's game over. Let's check out the 7 SUVs most at risk of disappearing from roads in 2026. Number 7. The 2019-2022 Ram 1500 Classic. Let's kick things off with the truck nobody, and I mean nobody, thought would blow up like this. The Ram 1500 Classic wasn't even supposed to still exist. It was the blue-collar beast, the just-get-it-done truck. Contractors loved it. Weekend DIY warriors swore by it. It was tough, simple, reliable, and most importantly, cheap enough that you didn't have to sell a kidney to buy one. But here's the plot twist absolutely no one saw coming. New federal crash test regulations dropping in 2026 are about to wipe this truck off the map. And this isn't some small technicality or paperwork hiccup. The Ram Classic's entire front-end crash structure was built to meet 2018 safety rules. Those rules focused on protecting the people inside the vehicle. The new 2026 rules? Completely different game. They're all about pedestrian impact safety. What happens when the truck hits someone outside the vehicle? And by those standards, the Ram Classic's front end is basically a disaster zone. The bumper sits too high. The hood geometry is outdated. There are zero energy-absorbing structures. Crash experts call this combination a lethal impact profile. Translation: if this truck hits a pedestrian, the injury risk skyrockets. In fact, independent tests show a 340% higher fatal injury probability compared to 2023-plus models. Not 34%, not 140%, 340%. So starting January 2026, selling a new Ram Classic becomes straight-up illegal. But that's just the warm-up. 12 states, including heavy hitters like California, New York, and Washington, are going nuclear. They're banning new registrations entirely. If your tags expire after January 2026, you're done. You literally cannot renew it. Your truck becomes a yard ornament. And before you say, "I'll just move to a different state," good luck. Insurance companies already updated their risk models. Premiums are projected to jump 60–80% nationwide, and some carriers are dropping coverage altogether. Here's the part that really stings. Over 300,000 of these trucks were sold. That's 300,000 people waking up to the fact that their dependable work truck just turned into a financial anchor. Used values have already tanked 28% in 6 months, and the ban hasn't even started yet. Owners are scrambling to sell, but buyers know what's coming. The market's drying up fast. And the worst part? There's no fix, no retrofit, no update kit. The only way to meet 2026 crash standards is to basically rebuild the entire front end from scratch. Nobody's doing that. So owners are stuck holding a truck that loses value every single day. Number 6. The 2018 and 2021 Chevrolet Equinox 1.6L Diesel. Now this one hits differently. Because this isn't about a design flaw or outdated tech. This is about straight-up deception. The diesel Equinox was supposed to be Chevy's answer to high fuel prices. Great MPG, solid build quality, the perfect family SUV that wouldn't drain your wallet. People bought them by the thousands, thinking they found a smart, efficient, reliable ride. But buried deep inside the emission system was a problem nobody knew about until federal investigators showed up. In early 2024, during a routine EPA audit, some numbers popped up that didn't make sense. The Equinox diesel looked too clean, like artificially clean. In the lab, the thing passed every emissions test like a model student. But real-world road data told the truth. On-road NOx emissions were almost 40 times higher than Chevy claimed. That's not a glitch, that's cheating. Turns out the engine control unit was running a defeat device. The same dirty trick that blew up Volkswagen a decade ago. The software could detect when the car was being tested, and it would temporarily change the engine behavior so it looked clean. But out on the road, it was spewing illegal emissions like a chimney. The EPA wasn't amused. Charges dropped in September 2024. By November, Chevy took the settlement deal, and the terms are brutal. Starting June 2026, Equinox diesels cannot be renewed in any of the 50 states. There's no grace period, no exceptions. No, but I didn't know. Once your current registration expires, that's game over. Your SUV becomes legally undrivable overnight. Families who bought used Equinox diesels thinking they scored a budget-friendly fuel saver? They're about to get blindsided. Resale value is in free fall. Dealers won't take them. Buyers vanish the second they hear diesel Equinox. Some owners are getting offers as low as $2,000 for SUVs they bought for $18,000 just a couple years ago. Chevy's offering a buyback, but it's a joke. They're paying 40–50% of market value, but the market value is already down by 60%. Do the math, it's pennies. And if you still owe money on the car, the buyback won't even cover the loan. You'll literally owe the bank more money even after Chevy takes the vehicle away. It's a financial nightmare baked inside an environmental scandal. And most owners have no clue it's coming. Number 5. The 2017-2020 Jeep Compass 2.4L Tiger Shark. The Jeep Compass looked like the perfect compact adventure SUV. Small footprint, real Jeep DNA. Great for city life with weekend trail potential. Sales went crazy, but hidden under the hood was a problem so big that mechanics started calling the engine the lawsuit engine years ago. The 2.4L Tiger Shark. This thing was a walking disaster. Excessive oil consumption, like a quart every 1,000 miles. Random highway stalls with zero warning. Engines blowing up before hitting 100,000 miles. Forums are loaded with horror stories. Road trips ruined, families stranded, engines locking up at 70 mpn, repair bills over $8,000. Jeep issued recall after recall, 7 of them between 2018 and 2023. But here's the truth, they didn't tell anyone. None of those recalls fixed the root problem. The engine's fundamental design is flawed. The piston rings cause the oil problem. The cylinder head causes the stalling. The whole engine layout is broken at its core. You can't patch your way out of bad engineering. Independent analysis put the failure rate at 23% before 120,000 miles. That's nearly 1 out of 4 engines blowing up. And 2026 is where everything hits the fan. Brand new federal reliability rules create a known defect registry. Any vehicle with a documented failure rate above 18% gets blacklisted. The Compass is sitting at 23%. It's not even close. But here's the real kicker. The blacklist doesn't just ban sales, it changes liability. Starting March 2026, if you get into a crash while driving a blacklisted vehicle, insurance companies are allowed to deny your claim. Their reasoning is simple. You chose to drive something with a known, dangerous defect. They're not paying. You become uninsurable. Not because you're a bad driver, but because of the car you're driving. And it gets worse. Jeep stopped manufacturing replacement Tiger Shark engines in late 2023. So if your engine dies after 2026, that's it. No replacement, no rebuild, no path forward. The car isn't fixable, isn't insurable, and won't be legal to drive. Some people are trying engine swaps, but the cost is over $12,000 for a vehicle worth maybe 10 grand on a good day. The Jeep Compass isn't just being banned, it's being wiped off the map, and 180,000 owners are about to find out the hard way. Number 4. The 2016-2019 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor. This one hits way deeper than anything else on this list, because it's not just about cars, it's about families, real people, and what Ford knowingly let happen behind closed doors. The Ford Explorer Police Interceptor wasn't only used by cops. When departments upgraded their fleets, thousands of these units hit the used market. And folks jumped on them. Powerful V6, AWD, crazy durable, and dirt cheap. You could snag one for 12, maybe 15 grand. Families thought they scored the deal of the decade. But they had no idea what they were actually driving. Because Ford hid something serious, something dangerous, something they absolutely knew about years before it ever became public. Carbon monoxide leaks. Not the mild, you might get a headache kind. We're talking CO levels high enough to cause permanent brain damage. Cops started reporting symptoms as early as 2017, splitting headaches, dizziness, blackouts, memory loss. A few officers literally passed out behind the wheel. Some crashes were traced directly to CO poisoning. Then leaked internal documents confirmed the nightmare. Ford knew in 2016 that these vehicles had an exhaust defect. They knew officers were getting poisoned, and they kept quiet about it for nearly 2 years. When the news finally blew up, Ford tried to play hero. Software tweak here, some seals there. All fixed, they claimed. Except it wasn't. Independent university tests in 2024 proved the fix was basically a PR move. CO levels inside the cabin still spiked way beyond safe limits. The leaks never really stopped. Officers who trusted the repair kept getting sick. And then the families who bought these retired units? They started noticing the same symptoms. Kids getting headaches, parents feeling lightheaded on the highway. One family in Michigan had their 7-year-old tested. His blood showed signs of chronic CO poisoning. They'd been driving that Explorer for 8 months. Now the NTSB is stepping in, and they're not playing around. Starting February 2026, these Explorers are banned from the road unless they get a full exhaust system replacement. Not a patch job, not a software update, a total teardown and replacement. Cost? Anywhere from 6 to 8 grand. For a vehicle most people paid 15 for. And here's the kicker. If you skip the fix and get pulled over, that's a $5,000 fine per incident. And in some states, cops can impound the SUV on the spot. Families who thought they scored a tough, reliable deal are stuck in a horror show. Pay almost the entire value of the vehicle just to keep it legal, or lose it entirely. And the scariest part? Almost nobody knows. No mass alerts, no big announcements, just quiet rule changes that are about to smack thousands of people right in the face. Number 3. The 2018-2021 Volkswagen Atlas V6. The Atlas was supposed to be Volkswagen's big "we finally understand America" moment. 3 rows, wide cabin, comfy as hell on long drives. Soccer parents loved it. Road trip families loved it. It looked like VW finally cracked the code. But there's a hidden defect inside these V6 models that's about to hit the public like a sledgehammer. The transmission. VW slapped a dual-clutch gearbox in the Atlas, the same type they use in high-performance sports cars. Quick, efficient, responsive, in theory. But under certain conditions? The transmission straight up disconnects. No warning, no lights, no limp mode, nothing. You're cruising at 65, merging into traffic, doing everything right. And suddenly the engine revs, but the wheels don't move. No power, no acceleration, just momentum and panic. It's happened 47 times that we officially know of. 3 of those incidents turned into multi-car pileups with serious injuries. And VW knew. They absolutely knew. They've been quietly dealing with this behind the scenes, offering hush-hush buyouts to the owners who complained. Sign an NDA, take your check, keep quiet. No recall, no federal involvement, no massive liability. But the cover-up blew apart when a 2023 class action lawsuit went to settlement in late 2024. And the terms? They're brutal. Every affected Atlas V6 must be grounded by March 2026. Grounded means legally dead. You cannot drive it on public roads at all. Period. VW will offer a buyback, but here's the trick. Current market value minus a 30% defect depreciation. You're only getting 70% of what the SUV is worth today, and it's already dropped nearly half its original value. And if you say no to the buyback, your Atlas gets flagged in the DMV database as unsafe. You can't register it, you can't sell it, you can't even donate it. You're just stuck with a giant driveway paperweight. But here's the coldest twist of all. Most Atlas owners still owe money. The buyback won't cover their loan balance. They'll have to write Volkswagen a check just to escape the vehicle, then keep paying the bank for a car they no longer even own. Financial experts are calling it the Atlas trap, and 75,000 families are walking straight into it. Number 2. The 2017-2020 Nissan Pathfinder CVT. The Pathfinder name used to mean something. It stood for adventure, road trips, reliability. The SUV families trusted for decades. But then Nissan started cutting corners, and what used to be a family legend turned into a rolling headache with wheels. The CVT transmission, continuously variable, supposedly the future. Smooth, efficient, better gas mileage. Sounds great on paper, except Nissan's version is a mechanical disaster. These transmissions might fail. They will fail. It's not maybe, it's not in rare cases, it's guaranteed. When they go, it's not a gentle breakdown. It's violent. Make you panic kind of violent. It starts small. A hiccup when you accelerate, a delay when you hit the gas. Then it escalates. Grinding noises, jerks and jolts that feel like the car's confused about what gear it's in, even though CVTs don't have gears. And then, one day, boom, total failure. You're cruising along and suddenly the transmission drops out. Engine's screaming, but the wheels aren't getting any power. On a highway, that turns your SUV into a 4,000-pound hazard. And Nissan? They've known about this since 2018. Internal docs prove it. They've settled lawsuits, paid out tens of millions, and kept selling these things anyway, because admitting the truth would have nuked them financially. Industry estimates put the failure rate for these Pathfinders at 65–70% before hitting 120,000 miles. Let that sink in. More than 2 out of every 3 will blow their transmission. Now the Department of Transportation is stepping in with new rules aimed at drivetrain defects, and the Pathfinder CVT is literally the example they're using as justification. Starting April 2026, these SUVs cannot be sold, registered, or legally operated in 38 states. And here's where it gets truly twisted. Nissan isn't offering a fix. No replacement transmissions. No extended coverage. Nothing. Why? Because a new CVT costs $7,000, and most of these Pathfinders are worth maybe $8,000. The repair costs more than the entire vehicle. So, 250,000 owners are stuck in the worst possible trap. Banks won't refinance something with a known terminal defect. Dealerships won't touch them on trade-in. Buyers instantly bail when they see Pathfinder CVT in the listing. And when April 2026 hits, these SUVs go from running to worthless metal sculpture overnight. Some owners have just given up. They're abandoning them in apartment lots, dropping them off at junkyards for scrap. One guy in Texas told a reporter he quit making payments and let the bank repo it. Said paying for a car he couldn't drive felt like getting robbed in slow motion. This is the ghost fleet, hundreds of thousands of Pathfinders that are legally and mechanically dead, still haunting driveways across the country. Nissan's reputation took a beating, but for current owners, the damage is already permanent. Number 1. The 2019-2022 Tesla Model X pre-refresh. Yup, a Tesla. And before you roll your eyes and assume this is some EV hit piece, stay with me. This has nothing to do with politics or Elon. This is about a design flaw that's already cost lives, and it's about to bury the pre-refresh Model X permanently. The Falcon Wing doors, Tesla's signature flex, the futuristic feature that made the Model X instantly recognizable. The wow factor. They look incredible. Technological marvel, no doubt. They're also one of the most dangerous design choices ever put on a modern SUV. In a rollover crash, those doors jam. The electronic actuators that make them glide open, they lock tight, and first responders can't open them. Not with standard equipment. Not with hydraulic cutters. Not even with specialized tools. They are electronically sealed shut. And if the battery gets damaged in the crash, which happens often in high-impact EV accidents, the whole electrical system fries. That takes out the manual release too, so there's no override, no emergency pull, no escape. People have burned to death inside Teslas, while firefighters stood there helpless, trying to breach doors that simply would not open. 4 documented fatalities are tied directly to this failure. 4 people who survived the crash itself, but died waiting for rescuers to reach them. One case in Oregon still traumatizes the firefighters who responded. Family of 3. Rollover. Dad was unconscious. Mom and child awake, screaming for help. Responders got there in 6 minutes. They had every tool in the book. It took 23 minutes to break through those doors. Tesla's answer? Update the emergency response guide. Add a training PDF. But change the door design? Nope. The doors are the Model X. Changing them means admitting the flaw. Now NHTSA's stepping in. They're classifying the pre-refresh Model X as a high-risk entrapment vehicle. Starting August 2026, no more new sales. And current owners are being strongly encouraged to join a retrofit program that replaces the door system with one that has mechanical, externally accessible emergency releases. Cost? $18,000. Tesla isn't covering it. They call it a voluntary safety upgrade, not a recall. Owners have to pay out of pocket. Skip the retrofit? Your VIN gets flagged in federal safety databases. Insurance companies have already reacted. Some are dropping Model X policies entirely. Others are hiking premiums 200, 300%. Resale value? It's dead. Listings are sitting untouched for months. Prices are down nearly 40% in a year. Nobody wants a luxury EV with a documented entrapment hazard. Model X owners, people who once paid $100K, $120K for these vehicles, are now stuck with a brutal choice. Cough up $18K to retrofit a car that's lost almost half its value, or keep a vehicle you can't sell, can't insure, and may not be able to safely drive. Even engineers didn't think this was possible. They assumed Tesla would be forced into a recall. But Tesla's playing legal chess, and owners are the ones getting checkmated. The Model X was supposed to be the future of SUVs. Instead, it's heading straight for the automotive graveyard. 7 SUVs, 7 expensive headaches waiting to explode. And if one of these is sitting in your driveway right now, You're not dealing with a maybe someday problem. You're sitting on a ticking clock. The deadlines aren't years away anymore. They're right around the corner, and once they hit, these vehicles don't just lose value. They drop off the map entirely. So take a minute. Look up your VIN. Read your insurance policy. Don't assume you'll get a letter or a warning, because with these 7 SUVs, the truth hasn't come from the manufacturers. It's come from the fallout. And the fallout is already here.